Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Drunk Cinema, where I, your host, Bo Frederick, will be getting drunk and reviewing shitty movies I decided to watch. First movie for this episode is Countdown. It's a movie pretty much based off the OK Boomer meme, where an app counts down to when you're gonna die, and then you die. So this movie's ass, and I will get to my review on the movie later, but as for now, I will go over the story of the movie and then give you a little bit more in depth of what I think about it. So to start off, this movie starts at a party where teenagers are at a teenage party and discussing teenage things like veganism. And they talk about this app and they make a drinking game out of it. Whoever's supposed to die first, according to this countdown app, is going to have to drink all the rest of the drinks. So everyone downloads the app, looks when they're dying, and then there's a character, her name is Courtney, who's going to be the first kill of the movie. As typical with all horror movies, they show a first kill in the first 10 minutes. Unfortunately for her, she's our gal. She's our lucky lass. And she only has 3 hours left to live. Everyone's like, aha, because, they don't believe in the app, because who the fuck would? You got 3 hours to live, bitch. Drink up. Get that cirrhosis in. And she's freaked out about it. Her drunk boyfriend is like, well, let's drive home. She decides not to go with him. Good choice. Don't drink and drive. You can drink and review movies, but don't drink and drive. And she skips out, and she's worried about it. And then her worries are right, because the demon fucking murders her. But if she would have gotten in the car, as you see later after that, her boyfriend did get into a crash where she would die. Ow. Then we're introduced to our main character, our very bland, unlikable character Quinn, who's a nurse, and her mom died, which you find out later, and she has a sister, which you're introduced to later. But other than that, she's pretty fucking cornflakes. She's bland as it gets. There's nothing interesting about any of the characters in this movie. They're all vanilla. I forget half their fucking names, so I apologize for not being able to give a full in-depth, here's their name and this and that. But none of these characters sparked my interest enough to really gather the names. The only reason I remember the fucking main character's name is because of Quinn 92, the musician. So she talks to the boyfriend of the girl who died. He's only got like 19 hours left to live. He downloads the app. So he tells her about it. She's like, whatever, chump. She's like, it's an app, as any normal, sane person would be. But then she brings up how he was talking about the app to her coworkers, so they all download it. This part's actually kind of accurate. People nowadays are kind of dumb like that, where there's an app. Ooh. Let's see. Let's check when we're going to die. It's like the fucking Facebook quizzes. Everyone's done one or two. What character in this show are you going to be? You answer it. It's dumb. It's stupid. But you do it. So they do this. And Quinn, our leading lady, Miss Cornflakes Bowl Oatmeal Blando herself, finds out she only has 3 days left to live. So she gets all paranoid and tweaky about it. She's like, oh boy, it's kind of like a fucking horoscope, where I don't I don't think any human would get paranoid by if they fucking download it. Oh, I'm gonna die in 3 days. My ass. You're not gonna believe in it, but for some reason all these characters believe it's concrete. Except for the ones who have like really good lifespans according to the app. They're like, I'm gonna live to 92. Yo. But unfortunately for Quinn, she's got days left. So I almost skipped over it. Key important element that happens: a drug overdose patient comes in and they inject Narcan into her, which supposedly flushes out the drugs and recovers you from the overdose. Key element. Don't forget that. Also, there's a doctor there who has 50-something years left to live. He's going to live to 94. Key detail. Don't you forget it. So they give the drug overdose patient Narcan. She's fine. She comes back to life. Blah blah blah. Then Quinn goes to the elevator, and they introduce a sexual harassment / assault subplot that isn't needed for this story, but they introduce it. Don't forget that either. It comes up. You won't forget it because of how often they bring it up in this horror movie. Honestly, the subplot with the sexual harassment is kind of brought up more than the demon behind this app. But whatever. I mean, it just wasn't shoehorned into the movie right. They just shoehorned it in without really giving it a purpose to the story. It was unneeded. So then Quinn's worried about the app. She goes to a phone dealership, tries to get a new phone, acts like a crazy person when the app reinstalls on this new phone with new service. Then she finds Matt, the love interest of this movie, which the love interest is also unneeded. A lot of things in this movie are bland and unneeded. Matt is one of those, another bland character who gives Quinn an unnecessary romance subplot. Matt's like, yo, I only got like 2 days left to live. And she's like, shit, me too. So they work together to try and figure out the app. Later on, they go to a priest. They go to 2 priests. The first priest is like, it's a fucking app. It's not real. Then they go to a second priest who's like the type of guy who believes in like every conspiracy he hears, and he wanted to be a priest because demons are cool, is an actual like quote from this man. He's like, demons and shit are neat. I want to be a priest. And he goes, oh, blah, blah, blah. That reminds me of this exact story from the Bible where a witch predicts your death. And if you try to prevent your death, the demon Ozen will come after you and torment you until your actual death. And then you die. But he will torment you up until then. So, hearing this information, they go back to the phone store and hack the app so they can edit their years to live so they have more years to live in the app. Obviously, this isn't going to change anything, but they think it works. Also, the tech guy is Tom Segura, which is the only redeeming quality of this movie, is that Tom Segura is just playing Tom Segura in this movie. So then they change all their years to live, and Quinn's sister, who's a rebellious teen, also downloaded the app. She sees her name on that list, so she changes her sister's years to live. So she has more, because her sister's supposed to die 3 minutes before her. So they think everything's fine. John, his name's Matt. Matt spends the night at Quinn's house. Then they find out that the demon's still after them. That you just can't hack a demon. You can't hack away the demon. You gotta do the god stuff. And so they go to get Quinn's sister, who experiences the demon tormenting her. And they go get her. And then they go back to the priest. The priest figures out a loophole in this whole curse contract bullshit. And it is that if you survive at least like a second after it predicts when you're gonna die, then you won't die. The curse is broken for everybody who's cursed by this app demon fucking apple at work. Where the fuck was I again? This movie's so goddamn confusing in the fact that it's so boring that you stop paying attention to it. I watched this movie a few hours ago, and it's just... I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. It's just ass. It's so boring. You forget you're watching the movie while you're watching it. It's not like you're checking your phone. You're watching this movie, but you forget everything about it as soon as it happens. It's this movie has nothing interesting going on for it. So the priest figures out, the whole seconds. If you just survive a second longer than you're supposed to die, then the curse is broken. So they set up a circle made out of salt, with a protection spell on it, and it works. The demon shows up to torment them. It gets burned by the circle, so it's staying on the outskirts of the circle. You're like, this is actually going to work, but you're like, there's still 20 minutes left of this movie. This isn't going to work. Who's going to fuck it up? And our lucky dumb shit dick fuck dumbass is Matt, and the ghost of his brother shows up and is like, you stole my T-Rex toy, you fuck ass. And his brother goes, oh, I'm so fucking... Matt's all, oh, I'll give it back. And then he steps out of the circle and immediately gets yeeted by the demon. And then after that, well, fuck me, everybody's got to go run after him and save him, which I would be like, fuck that, Matt. You're done. But they go out to save Matt. Matt's like, I'm good. The demon let go of me. Like, we're Gucci. And then immediately gets hit by a fucking truck and, like, right into a tree. He's pinched in between this tree and the truck, and he's dead. And the sister goes, Izzy? And Quinn goes, he's gone. And it's like, yeah, no shit. His internal organs were just fucking obliterated. And then you forget about that's the last moment you see that priest. They just forget about him. They don't give him a last note, like, good luck, guys. They don't get back into the protection circle after that. They still have like 20 minutes left to live for each of them. None of them get back in the circle. They go to the hospital because the sister's bleeding, but it looks like it's not that bad. And the sister goes, well, at least Mom would be like happy that we're spending our last minutes together. And Quinn goes, I got this. Last minute attempt to save their lives. She goes to the sexual harassment doctor who got her fired because he spinned the story on her. And her plan is to kill him, because then that would break the contract, because he's supposed to live to 94. But if he died before then, and they'd break the contract too. Just like if someone who died lived longer than they're supposed to actually live. So she hits on him, says like, "Come find me in the abandoned wing." There's an abandoned wing, and he does, and she tries murdering him, but the demon's like, yeet, tries preventing that shit. The doctor gets away. She's like, her sister has seconds left to live. So she goes, well, fuck. Injects herself with an absolute booty ton of morphine, and then fucking dies. And the sister lives, the curse is broken, and then the sister finds on her arm written Narcan. Remember how that was important? So she injects this Quinzel with the Narcans, and she immediately recovers from death and is alive, but she was technically dead, so the contract's still broken. So then they do a nice thing, and they go to the fucking mom's grave, because remember, they have a dead mom, and they put new flowers on it, and then they're gonna go drive off, and then Quinn gets a notification on her phone that the Countdown's 2.0 installed, and I just realized Origin is right in the way. But the Countdown 2.0 installed, and Quinn goes, a gasp, and then the movie ends on that cliffhanger. So yeah, overall, this movie's actors were good. The actors were good. Tom Segura was the best, obviously. The script was shit. The effects and the CGI and all that was ass. Would I recommend watching this movie yourself? No. If so, if you're gonna watch it, just skip to the Tom Segura parts. And now it's time for my rating of this movie, which I'd give it a sober 3.5, but a drunk, if you like shitty movies like I do and you're drunk, I'd give it about a 6, solid 6. So yeah, that's my review on Countdown. If you'd like to see more, subscribe. If you'd like to see, me review a certain movie for you, let me know. But otherwise, that's it. And I have more drinking to do. See ya.